All right, this is part 2 for competitive firms in the short run. We're going to be using the same exact cost equation that we had before, but I'm going to add in that there's 45 firms in the market. For competitive markets, there's always a good amount. And we also have a market demand curve that's given. Now I'm going to use uppercase Q to talk about the market quantities for demand or supply, and I'm going to use lowercase q for an individual firm's quantity or supply. What is equal? D here, 820 minus 5p. And I might ask you what the market supply is. What we're going to do is take the firm supply that we had on the other page in the other video and multiply the parts on the right-hand side that have an equation or 0 by 45, the number of firms. So it's going to look like something like this. This is the supply curve, big QS. And remember, it was P minus 4 whenever price was greater than 4, 0 if price was less than 4. So we want to multiply 45 here. And you can technically do it to 0, but you're not going to get anything different. And so just to simplify, we have 45p minus 180. This would be writing it properly just to show both possibilities. That is when we combine every firm in the market to each other and we have this market supply. All right, so, well, another thing I could ask would be maybe how much is needed of this product in the market and how much each firm supplies to it. And one thing we want to think about when we're talking about competitive markets is that these firms are probably going to look very similar to one another. There's perfect information. So people know what other firms are doing, and it's very easy to act like them. So everyone's going to do things pretty much the same. And a lot of times we call these firms all identical to one another. All right, so to get the amount the market wants, I'm going to set quantity supplied equal to quantity demanded. And I'm just going to go with this supply function, 45p minus 180. But remembering, if we do get a price that's less than 4, we're not going to supply anything. Hmm. 45p minus 180, and then equals the demand, 820 minus 5p. So then we just solve for price, right? Not too bad, hopefully. We're not 40p, or sorry, 50p. Ooh, that's what I get for not looking over my notes as I'm doing this. 50p equals 1,000, or the price is $20, which is above this $4 shutdown price. So then we want to plug in this 20 into either supply or demand to figure out how much the market quantity is. I actually think the demand would be easiest. But remember, we're in equilibrium, so the quantities are going to be the same, whether for demand or supply. And then we have, so 820 minus 5 times 20 is just 100. So this is 720 for the whole market. That's how much we get, again, when we set the market supply equal to the market demand. So I'm going to change this real quick. You'll get a blank one just to give me some more room. So now we might want to know, how much does each of these 45 firms want, or how much they're going to actually produce? They want to, because they want to try to maximize profit, right? So to solve for little q, remember this is for a firm, we take the market quantity and we divide by the number of firms. So this equals 720 over 45, sorry. And that equals 16 each. So every firm in this market, and again, they're going to be very similar to one another. They're going to take the price in the market, which was 20, and they're going to sell 16 units. Remember that price we found on the other page. All right, so then we might want to talk about profits, since that's the goal of any firm in the market. Now, sometimes we use pi for profit because P is always for price. We don't have another letter, I guess that's good, so we use pi. And profit's always equal to total revenue minus total cost. Total revenue is a bit easier to calculate. This is just price times quantity, little q. So 20 times 16, and that's 354. Ooh, that was bad. And then we subtract total cost, or cost. Sorry, I'm still on the notation from intro. And we just take the original cost function and plug in our quantity of 16. Remember that was 0.5 q squared, so 16 squared plus 4 times q, so 4 times 16, and then plus 162. So this represents the whole total cost for each firm, and if we solve this, we get that the cost is 354, and so our profit, I'm sorry, this should be 320. Some of you might be looking at this and a little confused. Not 354. We subtract the 2. Profit does come out negative. However, we said we shouldn't shut down. Let's think about why. So thinking about profit for producing nothing. This is the profit if we shut down. Well, revenue is just equal to 0 because we're not selling anything. Price times 0 is 0. And total cost. Well, the variable cost all goes out because the quantity is just 0, and we're left with 162. And so the shutdown profit is negative 162. And we would compare negative 34 with negative 162. Obviously, we know that negative $34 is going to be a little bit better than this negative 162. Not the greatest, but a little bit better. We'd still rather positive profits, but this is our best option at the moment. So no shutdown. And since we did the shutdown already, we only shut down when price is less than 4. You didn't really need to check this, but you could if you wanted to just check your work. All right, so this is all short run. In the short run, these firms can make positive, negative, or even zero profits. And these are economic profits, you can also say. So any of these are possible. I'm going to come right back for a continuation of this problem, but in the long run. Stay tuned.